Welcome to Unity with Pam, with your host, Pam Willis-Hovey.
Hello and welcome back to a special edition of Unity. We are here on location at New Birth Outreach Church, and they're doing their movie premiere of The Turning Point. And I have Mr. Michael D. Jackson. He's the director of photography and camera. Want to go ahead and say welcome to Unity.
Thank you.
Well, tell my viewers, they're getting a chance to hear about this wonderful movie, The Turning Point. Tell them what part you played in it.
I was in charge of I was the director of photography. I was in charge of all the camera shots, the setups, basically the look of the film, the lighting, and I also served as one of the two cameramen along with Tony.
Well, also, I want to ask you something. We're talking about the movie The Turning Point, but we need some people to know about Michael Jackson, Michael D. Jackson, may I add. How did you get into doing photography?
That was a long time ago. Back when I was in grade school, I kind of decided I wanted to go into the film industry. And I originally wanted to be an editor, and I went to school to the University of Oklahoma, studied film production there, and once I got a camera, I decided I enjoyed that better than editing.
When you took that camera, did you see what you wanted people to see, or did you see what you saw? Because I know there's like an epiphany sometimes goes on when you click it and you're looking for that right look.
Yeah, you have to balance that with what your director wants. You have to interpret the script. A lot of times you'll just run across something. You'll just see something in your eye. Usually when I read a script, it's almost a visual thing for me in my head, as seeing what the shots would be, what they would look like. But then you also have to balance that with what the director or the producer wants as a final output for the film.
So what you're making is what your mind is saying, and what is written down, that has got to transcend into photography.
Right, yeah.
How are you able to make that connection? Because when I take pictures, I don't get nothing like that happen. Big girl got to get somebody to help her.
I think part of what helped me was that I wanted to be an editor. And this was back in the days of when it was still 16 millimeter. There was no video production. I used to watch a lot of shows with the soundtrack down, with music playing. And you kind of get a feel then for the way shots are set up, the way they're edited together. And I think seeing that and then going into camera work helped quite a bit, because I could visualize. It's like reading a novel. When I read a novel, I see it in my head.
So do you want to take that person looking at your photography work to that next level?
Yeah. Translate what's on the page to the visuals.
I can tell just looking at you, it's like, I feel this thing. This is not just, okay, I'm doing this for, the customer is writing me a check and I'm going to make it happen. That's part of it, let's be honest.
I have done that.
Okay, that's part of it. But, you can see just, I'm telling my viewers, this is my first time I'm meeting him, but there's something so much more into that picture than what I'm going to see. There's so much more to it for you. It's so deep there.
Yeah. You have to have a good sense of composition, and it just come to me somehow, naturally almost. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, when you look at it, it's like same thing as you're doing a show. You want to get inside that person's head, and when it comes across on that camera, you want them to really see where this interview is going. You want them to really know who you are interviewing. Right. And I believe in some ways, do you feel that that's similar with photography for you?
Yeah. Because a lot of it is, you might not have any dialogue. It might be a look that the person's given. And you have to decide, do you want it really close? Do you want it medium? Do you want to zoom in a little? Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever taken a shot and said, this is just not where I want it to be?
Yeah, about everyone.
About everyone.
Yeah,
what do you do
I'm
when
a
that happens?
perfectionist.
What happens when you don't nail that?
You just go on. I mean, like on the Turning Point, we had a very short shooting schedule. Usually we have, on a bigger production, you have dailies.
Right.
You get to see what you've shot the day before, or at least 2 days or so of footage. For this, we didn't have that luxury. We shot it, and I don't think we saw any of it until we were done shooting the first week or so.
What did you think once you saw it?
Some of it I liked, some of it I wasn't happy with, but that's
me. It
is what it is, And I can look at stuff all the time and pick it apart.
Do you think sometimes we're too hard on ourselves in our crafts?
Probably.
But
that's what makes you better.
I like that. Before we go to commercial break, tell my viewers how they can contact Michael D. Jackson.
Oh, let's see. You can contact me at 404-379-8778 or by email, which is mdjzmovingpictures@gmail.com. Or through Ty.
Well, Michael, I want to say thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for doing Big Girl Show. We're going to
Not a
commercial
problem.
break. Then we're coming back with Mr. Ty Mans.
Okay.
Unity with Pam is being brought to you by these great sponsors.
Come into Chester's Barbecue for our world-famous mouth-watering ribs, smoked fresh on our grill daily. Or try one of our barbecue pork plates with fresh sides. Chester's has delicious sandwich combos to choose from that are sure to please. We also serve tempting home-cooked favorites. And don't forget to take home your own bottle of great sauce. Chester's Barbecue, serving the best food at the best price, with 3 locations to serve you.
You love your parents, and it's hard to see them struggle to keep their independence. Magnolia Manor can give your parents the assistance they need to enjoy life. You won't have to worry if they are eating well or taking their medications properly. And they'll be in a safe, secure environment with no need to worry about cleaning house or doing yard work. Visit magnoliamanor.com to learn more. Magnolia Manor, just down the road. A community of convenience, caring, and fun.
My name is Japal. 2 years ago, I received a kidney transplant. When I was 21 years old, I started dialysis, and for 7.5 years, I was a patient receiving treatments 3 times a week for 4 hours each session. And man, it was hard. After receiving my kidney transplant, I was able to find and marry the love of my life. My kidney transplant gave me my life back.
You have the power to donate life. Be an organ, eye, and tissue donor. To find out how, go today to donatelifegeorgia.org.
Local Church Connection is an exciting new publication in the Columbus area. Local Church Connection is a magazine that offers free advertising to Christian churches. Our circulation is 10,000, and we're free to pick up at over 100 locations in Columbus, Harris County, and Phoenix City. Be on the lookout for our new March-April edition of Local Church Connection. For business or church advertising, contact Tricia Jeames at 706-244-6413. And check out our website at localchurchconnection.com.
Welcome you to be a part of our ministry. This is not a put on, but this is a come on. And we come to share in our different ministries with our dance team, with our choir, and our TV ministry. And we're looking for great things to happen, great miracles to happen within this great thing to happen, great miracles to happen within this place. Come and be a part of the blessing plan.
Hello, welcome back to Uni. I hope you are enjoying people that's doing the movie The Turning Point. We are here on location at New Birth Outreach Church. I have the man who is the filmmaker, writer, director, Mr. Ty Mans. Want to say, welcome to Unity.
Thank you for being here.
Well, I'm excited. I've only had 2 on my show, so I feel very special. Big Girl is flying high. Tell people, how did you get into doing the movie The Turning Point?
Well, it actually all started with Pastor Coleman. Here, our senior pastor wanted to start a film ministry. And knowing that I'd done some film work in the past, he came to me and we started putting together ideas and plans. And I actually wrote a movie, a full movie, a feature, and we decided that was probably a little bit too much to start with.
Okay.
So I told him I would go back and we would do a short, maybe a 1-hour movie, and he agreed to that. And I started searching for something to write about, and a chance encounter with a former soldier at Fort Benning who told me he was suffering from PTSD. And about a week or so after that, I'm here in the church, and the pastor's preaching a sermon called The Turning Point, and it all just fell into place at that point. And I found myself that evening writing.
You know, you talk about PTSD, and then I looked at the trailer for The Turning Point on YouTube, and I'm asking all my viewers to go out there and look at the trailer and purchase it too, because it's good to support our people as well. But what were you feeling? That was such a powerful trailer I saw. It really did. It blew me back.
Yeah, well,
you knocked it home, Ty. You knocked it home.
Well, I had a lot of help. Believe me. You've interviewed Michael Jackson, our director of photography, and what he was able to capture. Because PTSD is dark. There's nothing lighthearted about PTSD. It's a dark subject. I grew up with it in my life, having a Vietnam vet forefather. So it was emotional. There were some things in the movie that happened as part of my life, and I didn't tell the crew about that or anyone, but some of the scenes were actually things that happened growing up as a kid, watching my mom and dad struggle through this thing called PTSD that at that time we just didn't know what it was. We had no clue. So it was a bit emotional, and we would have times on the set when me and Michael and Tony, the other camera guy and editor, would get together and go, wow, that just got darker. So it just seemed that we didn't intentionally go out to make a dark movie, but the subject is dark, and we wanted to tell the story as fair and truthful as we can, and I think we did. I think we reached what we were trying to achieve.
You know, let's talk a little bit about the characters. You have Sergeant First Class Derek Hunter and his wife Tiffany. As you watch the trailer, you will begin to see when he came home, there was some transition that was going through that she began to notice.
Right.
Tell my viewers about that.
Well, from the research and again from personal experiences, we noticed that when soldiers first come home, there's the excitement, the elation of being back home. And then shortly after that, it starts that period where they just don't seem to fit in. They can't find ways to fit in. Either they can't find jobs, or when they get a job, they can't hold a job because of what's going on within them. And then it starts in the family. It starts in the house. And before you know it, the whole family is really trying to survive PTSD. So we try to take it, for a 1-hour movie, we try to take the audience through those transitions of these things are starting to happen, and then they build up. And the Tiffany, the wife, is constantly just trying to get him to at least come to church. It may not be the answer, but start at church. Come back to church, and let's see if we can find some relief there. So I think I feel it flows well, and you'll see the transitions, and you'll see the turning point that happens in the movie. And I think the audience will see it and appreciate it.
Oh, I know that they will. I know when I saw it got to the point where it seemed like he was, I would say, at the cliff.
Yeah,
we
take him to the cliff.
You took it to the cliff, and
Yeah.
you see this gun comes up. How did you get us to engage in that? Because I'm sitting up here watching it on YouTube and go, oh!
Well, that was the reaction we wanted.
And then you cut me off.
That's right.
You cut Big Girl off. I didn't know what happened. I don't know if he survived it or what, but I'm not going to give it away to y'all.
That's exactly what filmmaking is about, isn't it? You want to tell a story, but at the same time, you don't really want to reveal the story. You want the audience to take that journey. So when we sit down and start looking at how we're going to put the trailer together, we ended up saying it needs to be a cliffhanger. It needs to be something that will draw the audience in and have them thinking all the way up until a point in the movie, did he survive? Is he still with us? So I'm glad you had that reaction.
I did. It was one of those big girls. Whoop, there it is. So, I mean, I loved it. Okay, Todd, you know, what's next for you?
Well, our next project is called Temptation. The script already written. I've already had a meeting with Pastor Coleman. He's behind it. So as soon as we get this one to a point where I can let it go and I can then transition into the next project, we hope to, late summer, be seeing action again on Temptation. So.
Is it like what I'm thinking?
I don't know what you're thinking, but it's
cheating,
a faith-based film.
Some cheating, some
dealing
creeping.
with a pastor who's having some
creeping.
temptations.
Some little cheaping and creeping.
So I'll leave that as your cliffhanger.
You see, I'm trying to get him. You see, I'm trying to get him to put it out there.
Yeah, you can read between the lines.
Okay.
But we think we have another great movie to make. We're looking forward to doing it.
How can people get the movie The Turning Point?
After tonight, it will be online on the New Birth Outreach Church website. For the dual disc, it'll be on sale for $19.99, and then for the single disc, $14.99. They'll be ordered, and then it'll be shipped out to them within a week.
And Big Girl will put the link on her show, too, so people can get it. Tom Hands, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you guys for coming.
We're coming back with more guests from the movie The Turning Point.
Unity with Pam is being brought to you by these great sponsors.
When you've been hurt in an accident, it helps to have experienced and knowledgeable attorneys to help you in your time of need. For over 30 years, our office has been helping victims in auto and truck accidents or with work-related injuries. We resolve thousands of cases both in and out of court. So if you've been hurt and it wasn't your fault,
talk to Walt.
Talk to Walt. Talk to Walt.
talk to Walt.
For your free consultation, call today, 1-855-GO-ASK-WALT.
For more than 60 years, the Dairy Queen recipe for success has been simple. It's been a combination of hardworking people, great tasting food, and tempting treats served in our establishments every day. Although a lot has changed in 60 years, some things remain the same. The smiles on children's faces, a treat for a good report card, close friends enjoying a great meal, and families spending quality time together. Here at DQ, we are always committed to treat you right.
Local Church Connection is an exciting new publication in the Columbus area. Local Church Connection is a magazine that offers free advertising to Christian churches. Our circulation is 10,000, and we're free to pick up at over 100 locations in Columbus, Harris County, and Phoenix City. Be on the lookout for our new March-April edition of Local Church Connection. For business or church advertising, contact Tricia Jeems at 706-244-6413 and check out our website at localchurchconnection.com.
Welcome you to be a part of our ministry. This is not a put on, but this is a come on. And we come to share in our different ministries with our dance team, with our choir, and our TV ministry. And we're looking for great things to happen, great miracles to happen within this great thing to happen, great miracles to happen within this place. Come and be a part of the blessing plan.
Hello and welcome back to Unity with Pam. We are here on location at New Birth Outreach Church, and we're talking about the movie The Turning Point. I have their pastor, Farnsworth Coleman Sr. with me. He is the executive producer of the film ministry. Want to go ahead and say, welcome to Unity.
Welcome here. Welcome to New Birth.
Well, thank you. I want you to tell my viewers, how did they come up with The Turning Point?
Okay. I guess the conception or the idea of Turning Point was, like I said, was from a sermon I preached a year and a half ago entitled, Sometime Your Breaking Point Can Lead to Your Turning Point. And Brother Ty Mann, one of the members, he was present that Sunday, and I guess the message moved him to go home and start writing. And he just started writing Turning Point, being a military person. He saw where this sermon or this title, Turning Point, could be applicable to, the military, those who are suffering from PTSD. So that's how we ended up with the movie.
So let me ask you this. When you wrote wrote the movie, let me get this right. When you wrote the sermon,
yes.
The turn, let me put it on the right person. When you wrote the sermon, The Turning Point, what was going through your mind? I'm a pastor's daughter, so this one I know.
Usually, most of my sermons, I guess, derived from a weekly experience. I may hear a song, or I may have a hospital visit, or I may visit a person, and particularly that message was built from one of my parishioners who was really at a breaking point. And then I wanted to make sure that not only did I encourage that particular member, but other members in the pew who are at a breaking point, that let them know that this can be your turning point.
You know, a lot of times we need to have a turning point in our life. Do we get an epiphany when we get that turning point? Does something happen catastrophically? Pastor, what can get us to that turning point?
One thing that I lift up in that message is sometimes when our backs are against the wall, we have backed up as far as we can go. We can't go back any further. Then that's when we make that decision, you know, I'm not going to die here. So how do I take this breaking point or this setback and turn it into a turning point?
You know, my father would say, Pastor Willis, he'd say, when you up against the wall, it'll make you fight harder or do nothing.
That's right.
So when you get to that turning point, do you say that's that fight harder?
Yeah. Well, you had a do or die situation. You know, if you press a pit bull into a corner where he can't retrieve, then he'll come out fighting.
That's right.
A lot of time, the reason some of us are going through what we're going through is we have not activated the fight that's down in us.
Yes.
And then once you get to that point, you realize that, hey, that's something stronger down here that can get me beyond this.
Do you mind if I ask you a deep question?
Okay.
May I?
Yes.
All right. What was your turning point? Because something about this message seems like it's also a personal experience for you too.
Really, when I was building this message, I guess from the year 2002 when we started this ministry, we started at Norris Road. I was questioning whether I even wanted to pastor again. I was questioning whether I really wanted to lead God's people. And after getting over one hurdle, then I was engulfed with another hurdle. Because my wife and I, we were sitting there watching the news, and there our son was being arrested over in Lee County for attempted murder. And
was it true?
Ultimately ended up murder. You know, it was a situation of self-defense, but he was still convicted. You know, that was probably one of the lowest points in my life. You know, God, I'm preaching your word, I'm living the life, and then you allow this to happen, you know, to my son. And just to show you how God works, you know, I have 3 sons, but the one that bears my name was the one who ended up, you know, being incarcerated. So when the headlines came out in the Legend Inquirer, it just had Farnsworth Coleman. No one ever thought whether it was senior or junior. So that was almost a breaking point for me.
It's probably, I know being in church, I don't want to say the word scary, but a little fearful. Is that okay?
Oh, yes. But, you know, I'm living what I released in the courtroom that day. When they got ready to sentence my son, the judge asked me, said, Mr. Coleman, would you like to say something? I said, I definitely would. And what I said was, you know, this was before the verdict came in. I said, this doesn't look good. This doesn't sound good. But God still can work it out for good.
So was he exonerated of everything?
No, he served 9 years so far.
He's not out now?
No, he's still in.
And you still, this really is a turning point for you. You done got me on my own show. You done stumped me on my own show. But this really is a turning point for you.
You know, really it was a turning point for him.
Okay.
Because when we visit our son now, he's not the same son that went in 8 years ago, 9 years ago. He has gone through a transformation. I can see a turning point in his life. So all things work together for good.
Well, I know they're giving me that 1 minute cue, but you've got to tell my people how they can come to your church.
We're on Veterans Parkway, 3.5 miles north of Lowe's. We started at 1045. We're a non-denominational church, but we are an outreach church. We love people. Our slogan, our motto is just come as you are, but you will leave better.
Well, I want to tell you, Pastor Coleman, thank you so much for doing my show. And remember, show love in the community.
Amen.
Unity with Pam is being brought to you by these great sponsors.
When you've been hurt in an accident, it helps to have experienced and knowledgeable attorneys to help you in your time of need. For over 30 years, our office has been helping victims in auto and truck accidents or with work-related injuries. We resolve thousands of cases both in and out of court. So if you've been hurt and it wasn't your fault,
talk to Walt. Talk to Walt. Talk to Walt.
talk to Walt.
For your free consultation, call today, 1-855-GO-ASK-WALT.
For more than 60 years, the Dairy Queen recipe for success has been simple. It's been a combination of hardworking people, great tasting food, and tempting treats served in our establishments every day. Although a lot has changed in 60 years, some things remain the same. The smiles on children's faces, a treat for a good report card, close friends enjoying a great meal, and families spending quality time together. Here at DQ, we are always committed to treat you right.
Local Church Connection is an exciting new publication in the Columbus area. Local Church Connection is a magazine that offers free advertising to Christian churches. Our circulation is 10,000, and we're free to pick up at over 100 locations in Columbus, Harris County, and Phoenix City. Be on the lookout for our new March-April edition of Local Church Connection. For business or church advertising, contact Tricia Jeems at 706-244-6413 and check out our website at localchurchconnection.com.
From you to be a part of our ministry. This is not a put on, but this is a come on. And we come to share in our different ministries with our dance team, with our choir, and our TV ministry. And we're looking for great things to happen. Great miracles to happen within this great thing to happen. Great miracles to happen within this place. Come and be a part of the blessing plan.
Come into Chester's Barbecue for our world-famous mouth-watering ribs, smoked fresh on our grill daily. Or try one of our barbecue pork plates with fresh sides. Chester's has delicious sandwich combos to choose from that are sure to please. We also serve tempting home-cooked favorites. And don't forget to take home your own bottle of great sauce. Chester's Barbecue, serving the best food at the best price, with 3 locations to serve you.
Thank you for watching Unity with Pam. If you would like to be a sponsor, please contact us or visit unitywithpam.org. Production for Unity with Pam is provided by At Motion Media Incorporated. Always show love in the community.